So here are the 5 worst things about Newport Beach.
Look, it's clear Newport Beach is one of the best cities in the entire country, maybe even in the entire world.
Yeah.
But there are certain things you should know about before you pull the trigger and make that move.
And number 1 is obviously going to be the high cost of real estate. It's no secret that Newport Beach is one of the most expensive places to live in California, probably in the country as well. You can't buy properties here for roughly under $1 million unless it's co-ownership. Homes go all the way up well into the 8 figures as well here. So high cost of real estate is something you have to consider if you're thinking of making the move here.
The second is just an overall higher cost of living. The bottom line is bread or gasoline costs more in Newport Beach than it does in cities that are more inland. And the reason why is because these business owners are paying a higher rent to be in this city. So overall, your daily essentials are gonna probably cost a little bit more than if you lived in a different, more affordable city.
Number 3, traffic and congestion. So Newport Beach gets highly desirable in the summer months and it becomes a tourist season. So a lot of people will flock here. So you'll experience a lot of traffic. It's gonna be very time consuming to get around. You're gonna have a lot of people and compacted in certain areas. So if that's something that you're not interested in, then maybe this isn't the place for you.
Yeah, and even on the off seasons, traffic can be an issue because it is a densely populated city. Number 4 is actually the tourist crowds. So we just talked a little bit about how when the tourists come into town, things get really busy and feel overwhelming. Well, it does. During the touristy seasons, during the summertime, we're getting lots of people coming from different cities outside and even out of state that are coming here, and everything becomes an issue. Like, what happens when the tourists come?
Well, everything. There's a line for everything.
Yep.
Reservations are tough to get at your favorite restaurant.
Parking's borderline impossible.
Parking is very tough to deal with. So yeah, I mean, the beaches get very crowded. That's another thing that you deal with as well with the tourist crowds during the peak summer months.
Yeah. And number 5, and this is one that you may not be thinking about, but it's generally overcast almost every morning. I had a great friend of mine who moved out to the Newport Beach area, and I asked her one day, how do you like it? Now that you've been living in Newport Beach for 1 year, how is it? And she goes, I really love it. But she goes, the one thing I didn't account for was that it's basically overcast and gloomy and cloudy almost every single morning until the sun burns off that layer.
You get the marine layer up until around 11 or 12 most every day, but hey, you know what? You take the good with the bad.
Yeah, there's some good and there's some bad. So if you're thinking about moving to Newport Beach and you can handle those 5 reasons, then Newport Beach might be the city for you. But if you can't, then maybe it's not.